We have a fight at the North Shore versus the South Shore. We're not gonna fight. We're gonna just show you the best things about the South Shore today. Hey everyone, Matt Swerk here. You know I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team with Keller Williams. We talk everything about Massachusetts. We love with all the people reaching out to us. We're getting lots and lots of activity, lots of questions about renting, lots of questions about owning, lots of questions about what do you do. We're going to talk about the South Shore of Massachusetts. So you have questions about Massachusetts, we have answers. When it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, so today we're really excited. A couple reasons. Number one, if you've been following our videos, you've seen the last couple have been a different format, different background. Today we have a completely different background. The team is back together. Tyler has returned home, which we're so excited about, and has new toys for us to shoot videos. So you're gonna see, I don't know what he's gonna do. You might see some crazy things in the background. No, we don't actually go out into space and shoot these videos. So if you see something weird like that, yes, we're throwing some interesting things here and bumping up the productions. We're talking about the South Shore, and I was speaking to someone last night, and it was interesting because they're coming to Massachusetts to rent, and they said, well, listen, I'm looking, you know, they'd done some homework, and they said from Malden down to Quincy, and I said, oh, listen, I said, I'm always going to say Quincy because that's my hometown. So why do you care about my hometown? You don't. However, my hometown is the beginning, well, I believe is the beginning of the South Shore. So the South Shore, the geographic, you know, kind of designation is really a little bit of kind of the tip of Boston, goes all the way down to the south and west. Really that loop as far as going out to Cape Cod, right? That funny little hook that we have. Below that's the South Coast, right? So we don't want to get confused with South Shore versus South Coast. And like I said, it runs from the Mass Bay all the way to Cape Cod Bay. And a lot of towns down there. You know, the government basically says that the South Shore is made up of basically Cohasset, Scituate, Hanover, Norwood, Quincy, Marshfield, Pembroke, Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth. I mean, the list goes on and on. And there's some other towns that are part of what's called a coastal zone. We won't get into that because that's going to confuse people. The South Shore is definitely a little bit of an affluent area. You know, the median income is last year was a little over, or just about $105,000 per household, and the average house was about $580,000. So this year's a little bit different. Anyone that's following real estate across the world, you know, the market's a little crazy out there. So we're working hard to get people the best deals and get their houses sold fast. So the you know, the things that we absolutely love as far as the region, you know, it's funny, and I have to talk about this. We talk about this every single video. Most of the time it's intentionally put in there. Sometimes it's a little bit of a Freudian slip. What do we love about the South Shore? Yes, the thriving shellfish industry, right? Shellfish, of course you're gonna think lobster. I'm going right into fried clams. Yes, we dropped it into another video. Of course it's my favorite. If I haven't been eating it lately though, so I miss it. But you know, the thriving industry as far as shellfish, we talk, there's so many different beaches and marshes. There's so much wildlife that comes with those beaches and marshes, you know, whether, you know, the Audubon Society or going down to Woods Hole, which is a place down, there's like an ocean lab down there. It's really well known as far as, I guess you would say aquatics. So Tyler's laughing off the side here. And then of course, you know, with all the water, there's boating, right? And of course, you know, with all the different foods, you know, we love to stick our claim in the sand and I used to say flag in the ground, but I think that was, you know, talking about beaches, I just put our flag in the sand. We like to put our flag in the sand when we talk about these things called bar pies. And of course, we think we created them. We didn't create them, but we have quite a bit of bar pies. And bar pies are just little tiny pizzas. They're kind of personal size. I think they're like 4-inch pans, extra crispy. You know, these things, my kids are like, what's the big deal? And I think there's a little bit demented of a population that really loves these and really holds true to it. You want to get on an interesting Facebook group, go #1 South Shore bar pies, right? So yes, we think we own the world. So, and they even sell bar pies from the South Shore in the grocery stores too. So anyway, there's lots of activity, going in the South Shore, and I think there's so many different things to do, right? And we've talked about different things to do in Massachusetts in the past. So we'll just pick a couple, just different things as far as what you can expect on the South Shore. We're not going deep into the Cape. We're just kind of going to, almost just like right to Plymouth, and we'll kind of leave the Cape out on its own, even though there's a little division there as far as the Cape. So you have, we've talked about the different wildlife sanctuaries that we have here. Lots and lots of opportunities to view everything you can imagine. Yes, we don't really have any mountain lions here or grizzly bear, but we have kind of everything else you can imagine. Down in Scituate, a really nice community. They have this awesome Lawson Tower, which is like a big turret that was built, like a European castle, so that's really cool. You have Old Scituate Light, which is a very old, historic lighthouse there. We have lots of lighthouses being on the ocean. I'm not really excited by them. My mom is for some reason, but lots of cool stories about the lighthouses, all the legends around it. There's a really nice planetarium that's down in Plymouth. There's also in Hingham. Hingham is this interesting community that I really like because there was an old shipyard and they've converted everything around it. And there's a really, really nice place that was built up probably, I want to say 5 years ago, but much longer than that, maybe 10 years ago. And Mocky Mock, the Wahlbergs, right? Everyone kind of knows them, or if you're old school like me, Mocky Mock and the Funky Bunch, right? He's from Braintree, and his whole family, they opened up a restaurant down there called Alma Nove, which was basically the five brothers as far as the Wahlberg family. And then they also did Wahlburgers, right? And I think they transitioned that. They went nationwide with that, and I think they actually sell some Wahlburger stuff in some grocery stores. So that's really cool, kind of that, claim to fame. And they've had a lot of success. And New Kids on the Block, we're not going to go down all the miraculous music of Boston. Bobby Brown, yeah, we got that. We got the band Boston. We'll stop right there. But also in Hingham, this is where I parked here for a second. Hingham has this place called World's End. And World End is this really nice park in this conservation area that you can go walking. However, for the boaters out there, it's this really nice protected little bay, and everyone goes there, kind of ties off, drops their anchors, puts the floats out. People are hopping from boat to boat. It's really a lot of fun, and I was lucky enough to be kind of or have connections to a boating community years ago, and so we took a couple trips down there, really, really fun. And we actually even took the boat to down to that area in Hingham, jumped off, had lunch, and then jumped back on the boat. So that was really cool. Scituate, another really, really nice area, has great golf courses down there. They have a maritime museum. They have an Irish mossing museum. Irish mossing is this concept of taking like red algae and you use it in applications to stabilize chocolate milk, making pudding, clarifying beer, all these weird things, right? That kind of has gone out the window. So if you want to go waste some time trying to find some interesting things on Irish mossing, just go ahead, put that in the Google machine and see what spits out at you. We'll get some hits here. I bring up the Irish side of things because Boston itself has had a very, very strong Irish population. We actually, I think just last year or the year before, it was like 21% had some Irish descent. So we had a lot of Irish descent down in those South Shores. So there's a lot of cool history as far as Irish descent in Massachusetts, specifically in the South Shore. But we have, going to the South Shore, you can go on whale watching, lobster excursions, deep sea fishing. Like I said, there's so many beautiful beaches. One of my favorites was Hummerock Beach, which is Marshfield. We didn't spend a ton of time going down to the Cape, right? We spent a lot of time in Marshfield. We were lucky enough we had family members that had a house that was a couple blocks from the beach. And Hummerock, right? So the skip is, right? So that's those flat stones that you throw across the ocean and boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so that was a big thing. We skip all the time with rocks. It's a weird thing, but and I don't know if that's a nationwide thing or just some wacko thing from Massachusetts. We recently taught our kids how to find the best stones and how to do some skipping. So weird thing to talk about right now. I think as far as the South Shore, there's so much to offer, and one of the things, I would say the negative side about being on the South Shore, again, we kind of laugh about the gateway going down into the Cape, so you're hitting from Boston, and then you have this South Shore chunk going a little bit into the Cape, and then, on the Cape. And some people want to say in the Cape, and you say what you want to say, no one's going to judge you. So maybe. Because you have that chunk of land getting from A to B with a lot of people, especially the vacation season, which is Memorial Day to Labor Day, the traffic, it can be atrocious. It is what it is. They have done a lot. There's two accesses that get, basically, we'll say South Shore to the Cape. You have the Sagamore Bridge and the Bourne Bridge. And the Sagamore Bridge is the bridge everyone knows about. There was just a rotary that was there. It was an absolute mess. And of course, the brilliant mind said, okay, we got to build something that's going to make it easier. And just like with the Big Dig project here that happened years and years ago, it was kind of narrow-sighted as far as how far that was going to happen. Didn't think about population growth way past what was being built. And some of those... Sorry, Massachusetts, some of those roadways are probably outdated, and we're going to be putting lots of money back in there. So if you come here, taxes are probably going up. All right, I said it, Massachusetts. Anyway, yes, I'm in one of those moods today. So I think the traffic, for me, growing up there, there is no negatives, right? So I'm 100% biased on this, except for the traffic, and I'll just say it the way it is. We used to have all the shortcuts of getting down, and bypassing all the traffic. Well, now you have those great apps like Waze and Google Maps, finds all the shortcuts for you. So all the little things that the hidden secrets, not anymore, because the computer's just going to tell you, hey, get route right, go left, and you just bypass all that traffic, and then all of a sudden it does that to enough people, and then the major road opens up again. So traffic is an issue. I think another negative I would say, and it's not a huge thing. Going back to Quincy, I'm from North Quincy. Very, very going to make that distinction. We have a line, North Quincy, Quincy. There's a huge rivalry, very intense as a kid, and then I realized it's not that big of a deal. But we had that same thing as far as the South Shore versus the North Shore, right? And I think that's kind of a negative in the sense that you have Boston proper, right? And then you have Western Mass. And as I always do this with the camera, I'm trying to think of, which way am I pointing in the right direction, but that doesn't matter. You have Boston proper, you have Western Mass, you have, the South Shore, you have the South, I was going to say the South Cape, there's no South Cape, you have the South Coast, and then you have the North Shore. And Boston, as South Shore people, we didn't really cross over Boston, right? Why would we go through all that traffic to get to that other side? And same thing with people on the North Shore. So, why would they cross over Boston to get down to us? We have all of our beaches down there. They have all their beaches up there. I'm talking us versus them, and we're all the same people, right? So, and there's definitely some distinctions, and I won't get into it there as far as some prejudices that they had about us and the prejudice we had about them. So I should go down that rabbit hole now, but I won't. But there's always been some funny ththings there. So I think that natural divide and kind of having that chip on the shoulder of the North Shore, and kind of the North Shore people don't want to come down towards us either. Both places are great, right? I'm happen to be biased because I'm from the South Shore. I think the other thing I love, and this is going to sound contradictory, but what I love as far as the South Shore, it's really accessible. Now, why I say it's contradictory, I just talked about all this traffic. However, to get from, we won't say A to B because I use that for my vacation time. But let's say B to D, right? So to get B to D, really easy. You can take a water ferry over to Logan Airport. So if you're traveling, you don't want to have to drive in town, jump on the ferry, it brings you right over. You can easily pick up any of the lines to get on the train and then disperse where you need to go. And we have a pretty extensive train network, whether it's the commuter rail or what I refer to as the T. It's all the same thing, the MBTA. You've heard me talk about this before if you've seen another video. But it's super accessible. And then, besides those summer months, it's a couple months out of the year, which we love to complain about the heat and the humidity. We're awesome at doing that. That's really when the traffic is not that good. But, it's Friday nights, right? Everyone's going down for the Cape. It's those long weekends. So if you understand what you have to do, stay at the office for another couple minutes, you miss the traffic, or maybe have a late breakfast, do some work from home, and then, drive in from there. But it's super accessible, and it's a great place as far as I mean, listen, all of Massachusetts is a great place to come live and to socialize and to meet people and to be with friends and family. But the South Shore, there's a lot going there. We didn't get into a ton of specifics because there's so many different things. But just in that small little area, small different towns, beautiful areas, beautiful towns. I mean, beautiful homes, beautiful landscapes. It's really a special place. All right, so the South Shore, there's I left a lot of things open there. So, as we get lots of questions about different aspects about Massachusetts. Really simple, just reach out to us, email, text, call, Facebook Messenger, carrier pigeon. We haven't thrown that goofy one out in a long time. But really, reach out to us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We love everyone checking out the channel. We just got so many people reaching out, so we're working our hardest to get back and get everyone situated and service to the highest level possible. But listen, like I said, you have some questions, we have some answers. When it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.